Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the EGA live stream. Hope you guys are having a great week. It is Wednesday. We are at the midweek mayhem, as I like to call it. Another week in this extremely volatile stock market that has been only going up. We are at day number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of a uptrend, with no signs of slowing down, despite us having various bearish news cycling through, having a bunch of riots. Of course, as always, we have to remember the economy is not the stock market, and the stock market is not the economy. So many people will be wondering why this is happening, but it's a simple reason. Because both of them are not synonymous and don't go through the same things as usual. So just want to say hello to everybody. Welcome in. Appreciate you taking out your time to be here, and welcome into the pre-market live stream by the Everyday Growth Advisors, partnered with Option Swing. If you didn't take advantage of the big discount that Option Swing just had recently for hitting 40,000 followers on Instagram, I think you missed out on a huge opportunity, but fret not. We may have something like that in the future again at another milestone. You just have to be patient. We had a huge influx of members that came in, and now we're sitting at almost 1,300, I'm saying, members. Live active traders every day in, day out, that show up and trade with us on this beautiful Discord, where everything is super organized. We have callouts done by fire traders like Kevin Fomo, who's made almost close to $1 million this year, or more even. Mike Mas, the special guest who was on our stream prior to this last time. We have Jim and we have Jason, who is the founders of Option Swing. So welcome in. I hope you guys are here ready to rumble, and we're going to get started with this pre-market analysis. Let's get it. So we usually start off doing the news, which is what we're going to do. The British Prime Minister now offering 3 million Hong Kong residents safe haven in UK in a bid to kind of placate them and relocate them so that they don't have to go through the kinds of dystrophies in their economy. Also, there are now countries are starting to slowly ease up on the traveling rules. So watch for all of the economy to start to kind of open up a little bit. My guess is that by the end of June, things will kind of pan out a little better. I still do see some foreseeable possibilities that we will be kind of standoffish in this time period, right? Nothing often goes back to normal right away. However, the stock market goes back to normal right away. So we have a very unique situation. But I'll come to the stock market in a little bit, right? And today I intend to also go through a valuation on Microsoft so that you guys can get a rough idea on what I'm kind of looking at. So dollar weakens, which is usually a good thing for stocks. A cheaper dollar means people have more, pricing parity to purchase equities. which is a good thing. A strong dollar is never good for equities. So as the dollar weakens, and you can see it with the dollar index, right? You can type dollar index here. This one right here, DXY, should give you a good inkling. And you can see we've been on a strong downtrend with the dollar index. So you might definitely want to, take that into consideration, right? With a weak dollar helps out many parts of the economy. However, we don't want the dollar to be too weak. So it's a very delicate balance that the Fed has to kind of keep up with, okay? And this balancing act like a Libra. Okay, other things. Google pulls Chinese app remover from Android for violations. Man behind students' controversial virus strategy admits mistakes. Nothing much in Bloomberg here. Let's go have a look at Wall Street Journal. Relative calm as protests continue despite curfews. So people are more and more, ticked off at the fact that they are not able to go out. Remember, this is all accumulation of everything that has been going on thus far, right? And the Fed promised to buy bonds, but is finding few takers. So this goes to kind of like the repo rates and stuff like that. There was a huge repo operation, by the way, and I think there's another one coming. Cool $500 billion pumped in probably yesterday or something. I'm pretty sure it was yesterday. And so they're seeing lesser and lesser people who want to sell their treasuries. So that may or may not say anything, but we can look at that at a separate time. Let's see. Coronavirus stimulus funds are largely spoken for. Okay, Trump, Biden offer contrasting messages on protesters. Japan warns its banks about risky U.S. debt. And non-farm payrolls were out, and they were looking a little better than usual, right? We had a pretty big beat. However, it may or may not, reflect in the stock market right away. We'll see how that pans out. The pandemic sent 1.5 billion children home from school. Many might not return. Record-breaking economic boom is about to go bust. So news is kind of here or there. It's kind of in the middle. Remember, we want to see news start to cycle good news for us to really start digging into these bearish positions. Okay, we buy calls when the news is bad, and we buy puts when the news is good. Okay, so the idea is you want to cycle bad news and good news, and when the media is telling you to buy, you sell, and when the media is telling you to sell, you buy, and this will always hold true. So right now, all I've done so far is accumulate some baby positions in UVXY for far expiries. I'm talking a month and a half out. Some of them are for this week as well. I have hedges just for this week. But I'll be adding on positions as I see the news start to change. And when the news starts to get positive, that is when I'm going to go more aggressive with accumulating these positions. And I hope that kind of makes sense in your head, okay? So we're going to go through the pre-market movers right now. Let's see, pharma companies, we're going to ignore those penny stocks. We don't do any of those. NEO is up $5, possibly a sympathy play on Tesla, unless some other news broke out. Let's see what this is. Pharma, another one. Pharma, biosciences, Carnival Corp, CCL down about 2%. This stock has been moving quite a bit. We may want to look into this and see what has been happening with it. It's kind of interesting. I haven't looked at it for a while to see actually what is going on. So it does seem to be trying to break out from this resistance over here, but we'll have to see. It does seem like volume has been increasing. We may want to, accumulate some long-term positions for a 50% Fibonacci retracement, possibly from the swing high to the swing low. But we can look at this and kind of figure that out a little later. What I want to go through is the technical update with SPY, go through the Microsoft DCF valuation that I just did, and then kind of give you my idea on what I'm thinking. So just going through some technicals with SPY over here, I want to show you guys where we're at. The last stream that we did, I was a little hesitant, and I said that I was starting to open up more bearish positions, but it just seems like SPY broke out of this region that I was actually aiming for it to retrace within, right? This was the region where I was saying there's a possible correction down, and SPY kind of just busted right through. And remember, I'm not a fortune teller. I just go based on what the price action is telling me. So if we did break above, it doesn't mean that we can't come down again. It just simply means that, this level was breached, and since it happened on relatively low volume, you can see that, right? That means there were not enough sellers that came in to push the price down. So if only buyers remain in this market right now, then that poses a very unique challenge for this market itself on its own. Another thing to keep in your mind is you got to look at the open interest on SPY, right? I pulled it up this morning, and you have to realize that option traders are still bearish all the way through this month, okay? There is a skew of majority puts, except for on 8th of June, which is next Monday, and that's a very small concentration of contracts. But majority of option traders are bearish, which means the market will tend to price them out. They will tend to squeeze these traders out. Hence the rallies that you see, and it's always such that the market will never do what you want it to do. So you got to be tracking all of these things to understand how these minor nuances are interlocking with each other, and understand how capital is flowing in and out along with risk. Okay, so this is a technical update with SPY. We're definitely looking at a level here where where we might find some resistance. I don't think that we can keep running for 9 days straight. Although I'm not gonna say it that way. What I mean to say is we are approaching a very key level, which is a 30%, almost a 30%. From the bottom to the top, from here to here, we are having roughly about a 30% retracement. Yeah, you can see it's 30.6%, right? So the 30.6% retracement up here signifies actually a half of the way drop, more than half of the way recovery from the bottom. And the last time this happened, see, we only have about 12% now from here to the top, which is because our drop was about 35%, I want to say. 34, 35, something like that, right? So we have about 12% up. Now, what I will be looking to do over here would be to see where in the past we had a 12% rally, right? And figure out what were the conditions, right, to build a case study, okay? What were the conditions that led to this 12% rally? Okay, so we want to look at metrics for companies. We want to look at financial valuations. We want to look at the liquidity, right? Obviously, it's not going to be the same, but what could cause this rally? That is what I'm going to be looking at next. Okay, because we have 12% left up. Now, it doesn't mean that we're immediately going to go like gababam, like that, boom, up there. We're going to go more like this, and we, as I've told you guys before, a lot of impulsive correctives, right? So we will see some dips, and then further ups, and then further downs, and then further ups, or we may see a big down and then an up and then a big down, something like that, right? The market never goes in a straight line. So that's the reason why I've already started accumulating some put positions here. And you can do two things, right? You can buy puts on SPY, right, as an insurance to your long-term portfolio, or you could play fear, right? Because when the market drops, fear increases. So you could play UVXY, which is what I'm playing, right? Or you could play VXX, which is the VIX ETN, right? There are a couple of ways you can do it. So keep that in mind. There are many ways you can protect your portfolio. Make sure that you choose a FAR expiry and go through something like that so that you don't, mess yourself up. Okay, cool. So I'm just going to leave that there. That's a technical update for SPY-wise. The upside is very limited at this point, in my opinion. We could rally, but it would be, one of those black swan events. The downside seems more probable, but then am I accumulating a crazy downside position? Absolutely not. Why? Because I don't have a confirmation. So once I do see a confirmation and we start making lower lows, then I will definitely start taking some put plays. Okay, so keep that in mind. A couple of things you can do there. Now, another thing I wanted to mention and keep in mind is NASDAQ is about to breach its all-time high level. Okay, you have to understand this. The NASDAQ has already almost fully recovered from the coronavirus drop. Okay, we are left with maybe, I don't know, 100 points or so. Okay, so over 100 points, we will be back to all-time highs with the NASDAQ. But is it the same situation with the SPY and the Dow Jones? Absolutely not. Hence, you may argue to say that actually this is a great time to start looking at stocks within the Dow Jones and the S&P 500, right? The Dow Jones more so because the Dow Jones has not recovered as quickly. And the reason is because there are a lot of industrial stocks that make up this index, right? And they're all market leaders. So, you have to keep in mind that, as I've said it on the previous live streams, it is a good time to start accumulating energy, healthcare, consumer cyclicals, industrials. Energy is one of my favorite sectors because it's down double-digit growth. Okay, so you need to look at those sectors and stop concentrating your efforts on tech, because you can see that tech is already back to its level where it started the drop at. So if you were to add tech here, yes, there may be an upside, but there is a higher chance that we are capping out the rally in tech. And when tech drops, since tech is a big weight of the SPY, we'll see majority of the market drop along with it. So you have to keep those things in mind, okay? Make sure you keep these things in the back of your head. When you're choosing an option later, you're trading during the day, you're thinking about a long swing, keep these things in the back of your head, okay? Very important stuff here. So I was going ahead to do a Microsoft DCF earlier. And you don't need no fancy calculators. I want to show you how you can do it for free, and you can do it on your own, right? You can use Guru Focus, which is a website that has a DCF calculator. If you go search ticker, it has this DCF thing here. You can click on it. When you click on it, it gives you the DCF calculator here. And you can set your parameters. Now, for people who don't know what a DCF is, it's a discounted cash flow method, which we use to value stocks. For example, you know that Microsoft is trading at 185, right, today? It's trading roughly about 185, right? But is it truly worth 185? Well, you need to know if it truly is 185, because if you're buying a stock, you need to know what its actual value is. And how you do that is by figuring out how much cash flows, okay? How much cash flows Microsoft is going to have into the future, right, in 10 years, okay? And we're going to discount this value back, discount it, okay, by its WACC, which is the weighted average cost of capital, okay? Now, when we do this, what we're finding out is how much is stock valued in its present value, which means to say, we find first its future value, and then we discount it by the discount rate, which is the WACC, which I was talking about, right? It's the cost of the capital of the company over 10 years. Now, these metrics, I'm going to explain them to you, and hopefully it makes sense. Well, the EPS is a standard metric, right? This is Microsoft's last 4 quarters of earnings per share. Okay, I added them all together. It gives you 22.32. You can find those numbers online. Very simple to find them. The growth rate is a number that you can pull from a average growth rate. So if you look at their 10K or the 10Q, you can look at the past 5 years growth rate and extrapolate it. Now, for Guru Focus, they actually give it to you right here. Now, you can see that the 10-year growth rate is actually 8.9%. Now, why did I choose 6.5%? The reason why I choose 6.5% within the next 10 years is because Microsoft will not grow at the same 8.9% for the next 10 years. And added more likely that, with this whole coronavirus situation and the world becoming a little more uncertain, they may have a decrease in growth rate for the next 1 to 2 years. Let's say, assuming, we're making assumptions here, okay? 1 to 2 years, they may have a suffer from a lower growth rate. And during that period, the growth rate may drop by a couple of percentage points, hence lowering the aggregate growth rate. Now, I went ahead and used 6.5, but you know what? Even if we use 6, it may not be that bad. Okay. Now, the terminal growth rate, this is actually the you want to set the terminal growth rate to a mixture between the inflation rate and the GDP growth rate. Okay. So if our economy has been growing at about 5% per year and inflation has been about 2%, I'm taking an average of about 3% for the terminal growth rate, because the terminal growth rate lies in between those two values. Okay. Now the years of terminal growth will be 10, which is the same growth rate that we're using. We're doing a 10-year DCF, so 10 years of cash flows. Okay. Now the discount rate, which is the weighted average cost of capital, is usually an average of 10% for most companies and most businesses. However, I'm going with a higher discount rate because of the unique situation of this economy. Okay, we don't have that much certainty, and so the uncertainty causes a higher discount rate. Also, added costs and those kinds of things are going to cause much higher cost of capital for Microsoft within the next 10 years. So I'm taking 3% more, which is way higher than what I would expect. Now, this gives me a fair value estimate of about $232. What does this tell me? That if Microsoft stock is trading at $184, $185, right, then its fair value is actually way higher than what it's trading at. So should you buy Microsoft stock? Absolutely, right? Now, this is just your DCF calculation. Obviously, you're going to do a bunch more other things, and that's all going to contribute to your learning. So I just want to show you how a DCF is done. Obviously, this is not a full DCF properly done in the most sophisticated way that you'll be used to, and absolutely not the way that even institutions would. But if you're looking for a rough valuation, this is a great way to start. Okay, so welcome in, guys. Hopefully you guys were able to follow along. Let me know if you like that whole Microsoft thing that I just did and explained it, broken it down for you. Let me know if you like stuff like that. I can do it more often. Maybe break down different stocks for you, go through them on some of the live streams, and hopefully it helps you out. So gonna get into some of the technical breakdowns now. Let's read a couple of these, make sure that you guys are all here. Remember, I only ask for one thing when you're on this Discord, on this stream, is to smash that like button. Smash it up so that we can have some likes in here, and I appreciate all of you guys being here. Volume is fine. All right, smash the like button. Thank you very much. Good morning, good morning, good morning, Jason. How are you doing? Greg, welcome into the stream. Let me go ahead and fix this right now. Let me make you a moderator. Okay, morning, strike price. Strike price $40 for ERI for this Friday and losing money. Hold or exit? First of all, what is ERI? Majority of the problem with you guys lies in the fact that you trade stocks that are easily manipulatable, which is exactly below $10 billion in market cap, and this causes problems for you. And I don't mean to say that in any, condescending way. All I'm saying is this is a mistake I used to make, and when I stopped making it, I realized that my results started becoming much, much better. Okay. Yeah, you're definitely not going to hit that strike, unfortunately. $40 is up here. The stock has been bullish, but it seems like it's consolidating here to build another launch pad out. Your mistake here, let me tell you what your mistake was. Your mistake was getting such a short expiry. Okay, if you were sure that it was going to move that much, you should have taken a longer expiry. It would have given you a even better return if you took a further out expiry. So, unfortunately, you would have to cut that at a loss and move on. Take a further expiry if you're still bullish on it. All right, Square 8250 call 717. Right, the uptrend, keep holding. Remember, Square is part of the. Oh wow. Yeah, I would hold it for sure. Hold Square. Definitely hold Square. Very bullish. Nice break on volumes. It's looking great. I think you can hold this, and yep. And I love the fact that you chose the far expiry. See, this is a great situation to be in, right? And by the way, welcome Shantia. I'm so glad that you're learning, and from the mentorship course that you have grown so much at this point. So this is a great play in my opinion. 8250. You're in the money. Hold it. Hold it for a while. If you're holding multiple contracts, sell one of them, lock in some profit, and ride the other one, right? That's what you can also do. Remember, you don't need to hold all of them, okay? So if you're not, and then also make sure that you set a stop loss so that you lock in some profits. Make sure you don't be holding the contracts and then, lose out on any downside, okay? Warwill, welcome Warwill, ER play crowd, $100 call, 612. Yeah, I have a good idea that this stock is gonna pop. So this stock has, it's funny because my friend works for this company and he's been telling me for a long time that they are doing extremely well. $100 call for 612. Yeah, I think it's possible. If we can get a nice rally up here, see, it already corrected down. What I would really like to see, though, is for it to come and cover this gap at 87 before going back up. You said 612, so next week, I think you should be fine on this. In fact, it's an ER play. And is ER already over? Or ER is already over, so it must have shot through the roof. I think it can definitely go up to $100, especially since ER was good. Yeah, absolutely. I think this is a great opportunity here. If it can come down here, I would be a buyer. Definitely think there's a possibility for it to go back to $100 easily. The stock has been extremely bullish with nice volume coming in. You can see that OBV has been really nicely consolidating at this level. Obviously, this here was some profit taking, right? Some profit taking here, and the stock is coming back down. I would really like it to close this gap and kind of bounce right here to make another uptrend. So I absolutely agree with this play. I think it's a good one. Good morning. Any chance you could explain in detail how one could make use of the watch list in Discord? I've been having trouble. Sure thing, no problem. We can definitely go through what the watch list is like. So let me explain to you guys, first of all, that the watch list is not a mumbo jumbo astrological or a a crazy thing that predicts the future. Okay, the watch list is a list of stocks that we put together. Well, Will, O'Donnell, and Warwick put together every day. And what they do with the watch list is they figure out where the key supply and demand zones are for all of these stocks that they're watching. Okay, now when it says, for example, Apple calls 322 plus and puts 319 minus, this simply means that at 322, for example, yesterday, right? This was the watch list for yesterday, right? So at 322 plus, sorry, let me go back here. 1 hour chart, easier. 15-minute would be even better. So at 322 from the market open, if Apple broke above 322 with good volume, which didn't pay yesterday, you can see, right? It didn't do so. So this was not something that was a positive signal. It needs to break through the 322 plus with good volume, right? Good volume, something like this volume where OBV spikes up, right? And also your volume bar kind of accumulates, right? Then you can take that trade. That's the idea of the watch list, okay? And the same goes for puts. And I hope that clears it up for you. It's really not like a lot of rocket science. It's basically following supply and demand levels that you can, easily go through and spot. We're helping you do the supply and demand levels, and which are also happen to be support and resistance levels. Remember that supply and demand is support and resistance. So we help you figure those out so that you don't need to. It's just one of the little things that we do to give back to our community. Okay. Check the pin messages. Exactly. There's also a detailed write-up on the pin messages. But great, I already covered it for you. So that way, hopefully you can understand what I'm talking about here. Okay. Hello, MRO, $6 call. MRO. Why have I heard of this stock before? Marathon Oil. Jeez. I don't know, man. Without a supply cut with oil, it's a very, very difficult time to be investing in oil and oil companies alike. I don't recommend this play, and I don't think it's a good play. I think that you need to wait for some considerable news on oil for a supply to be cut or demand to increase before you take these positions in MRO. $6 call for 619. It seems like the stock has been moving sideways, man. So what can I say? Taylor is just draining away at your contract. There's not much I can guide you here, bro. I'm sorry. Do you day trade also, or just options? I day trade options. I do all of the above. I day trade options. I don't really trade much stocks anymore. I use options as a leverage tool for gaining additional capital. All right, Eric Jimenez, morning, welcome. Let me just refresh this real quick just to get a good idea. By the way, if this is your first time here, make sure you smash the subscribe button and click the like button on the stream so that you get a notification when the next time we go live, okay? Make sure that, you know, we're getting into this properly here. All right. Do we do everything, including also SAR? Yep, we do all of those exactly. We have many different types of traders, and so make sure that you know you join OptionSync to really get a great idea on that. Well, you kind of missed the 30% off, but I'm sure that you know you can still join if you really were interested. TVIX is another good play if you want to buy shares instead of options. Oh yes, that's another good one as well. If you wanted to hedge your portfolio, you can buy TVIX as well. It's another option, another alternative to UVXY and VXX. How do I decide how much SPY puts to buy to insure my portfolio? This is a very good question. So typically, you want to look at how much your account size is, right? Let's say I have a 10K account, right? Let's say my account is 10K.
Develop a strong mind. You will live.
My alarm's going off. Let's say you have a 10K account. Well, you would only insure about 5%, right, of your portfolio. You remember that when you take an insurance contract, it's a lot like you're insuring yourself against downside risk. So when your insurance contract pays you out, you're going to take the gains from this and you're going to dump it back into either long-term stocks or long-term options. And you keep flipping between those two, right? That's the idea. So for me personally, I take about 5% risk to put it into insurance because that's about the amount, the maximum risk I would take on for any position. So I go with 5%. But obviously it's very, very dependent on you and your account size. As Greg said, you could even take 20% depending on your account size, right? If you have a big account size, then you would take less. If you have a small account size, chances are you would take more. So it really depends, okay? Apple 310 put 619. Apple 310 put 619. Well, sure, yeah. Seems about right. I think I like this play. You know, a kind of a nice retracement here to this level. The only thing is, if you bought it up here, there's no guarantee that Apple's not going to break out of this with good volume. So you've taken a risk. That's all I'm saying. You've taken a risk and you have bet on the fact that Apple is going to correct. If Apple runs, you're taking on that risk. What I would have done instead was wait for Apple to get rejected and make a downtrend and not try to time the top, right? You don't want to try and time the top anytime because if you try to time the top, you will get caught holding the bag. What if Apple rallies out? Then you're screwed, right? So then your contracts are dead. So especially since they're so far out the money also. Remember, you have about $13 downside for Apple to go. That's 13 deltas. That's a lot. That's really a lot, okay? So I would have waited for the confirmation. But if you took it, I don't think you're going to lose all your money. But just remember, you're taking a risk. XLE calls. Any specific date or strike that you're looking at? I do like XLE calls. As I've said, energy has been depressed for a long time, and XLEs has actually been breaking out here. Nice volume has been coming in the past few days. I do like this play. XLE calls would be nice for, let's see. Let's do a fib retracement and check out from the swing high to the swing low where the retracement was, right? A 50% retracement would be 42.74. That would be about a nice level to go with, but I would choose personally a $44 call or a $42 call. Either one of those for your risk management style, depending on what kind of risk you like. 42 or 44, and take them about 2 months or 3 months out. Should be fairly cheap, so I like that play. Just smash the like button. Thank you very much for smashing the like button. If you're here, smash the like button, please. It's the only thing I asked for, really. Thank you very much. That CRE play. We only call the fire out. Tesla calls? I don't know. You tell me, man. AAPL. Thanks for the DCF info. Pretty valuable. No problem at all. If you like, as I was saying, I would love some feedback. If you could leave a comment on the bottom, a simple comment saying you want more of that kind of stuff, I'll make it happen. Okay. PENN 3150 and so a debit spread. Okay. We have a 31.50 and a 33 call. Seems well, this might be dangerous, and I think that you're gonna. There's a very high chance that your debit spread may not be a good play here. I see that the stock has been overextended, and now it's showing a bearish reversal sign. This hammer here was a good sign that the stock may reverse. Now this big red bearish candle is another a sign of a reversal. The stock seems to have topped out here. You can see kind of a mini head and shoulders pattern, right, forming. And if it breaks below this neckline, then it's heading downward. I recommend to get out of this if pen breaks below 30, or yeah, if it breaks below 30 with good volume, get out of it. If you are, you know, not, if you're not, pretty much if it goes further up, then you're good. Yeah, think about it that way. Okay, I see it. I see some bearishness forming. I'm not saying that it's for sure not going to rally. I'm just saying from my perspective, this is what I see. Okay, and especially since the stock is so overextended. Okay, PepsiCo calls 140, 619. Very slow mover, this stock. I like this more as a kind of a debit, iron condor or spread play. I've been telling you guys for a long time that this PepsiCo and Coca-Cola are perfect stocks to play iron condors on, and it's been doing exactly that. If you go back to a couple of live streams prior to this, you would see what I said about this. So okay, you said 140 calls for 619. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I don't think so. I mean, if it does, it has to make a really deep run to go up there, right? And this is not a very fast moving stock. I told you. It's been having a lot of trouble getting out of this zone, this 138 zone here, right? This zone has been a very difficult point. So you should have either got it at the break, or you should have got it if you're already in them. Well, the good thing is that some volume came in a couple of days back, or 1 or 2 days back, and the bounce here helps a little bit. So you may see a retrace up back to 136, 138. I can't imagine that if you bought it down here, you should be in profit. So if you bought it at a reasonable price and IV wasn't high, your contract should be having some intrinsic value, but I do not recommend holding them beyond this week. I have UVXY. What's your play for it? Well, I have some UVXY calls for July 17th. I have some $40 UVXY calls. So UVXY, $40, just a simple play. I'm betting on an upside for if we have some fear situations come back in. Market sell off, it will easily rally back up. I have it for a month out. So that's the play that I have. I have one for this week as well. I have the $35 call, but that's pretty much dead. But that's the point of the insurance, right? You buy them just so you know you're insured. So that's the idea there. Okay. Adobe call 392.50, strike expiry 612. I do like this play. I can't say that I don't like it. My only complaint is that not enough volume on this break. This break has had relatively very low volume break. You can see that. And OBV is not up far enough for this to actually make it as a clear uptrend signal. There's a very high chance that Adobe comes back down after this. I may be wrong, but this is all I'm observing. Okay. Roku 135 calls for July 2nd. A bit too far. Your strike's a bit too far, man. Roku's not going to move that much, in my opinion. I mean, it could if it wanted to, but I think that it's not going to move to 135 by that date. You have 1 month exactly. I've been caught in the situation before, and I want to just tell you, you're better off playing closer to the money plays with Roku. Even though there is a higher chance that Gamma will, cause your delta to kind of lose value, it's still a better play to intraday play Roku, not hold this contract for a long time, because Roku's very uncertain, and they had a pretty bad earnings, so I don't see it rebounding that much. Good morning, TIF 612 620 110 put. TIF Tiffany and Co. Whoa, Jabuga. What happened to the stock? Just yesterday? Jeez. Something must have happened. I'm not sure what happened, but it dropped like a brick. Interesting. Well, I don't know if you bought this before or after the drop, but I definitely wouldn't buy it now. I see some buying that came in at the end of the day. In fact, there was some buying. You can see that. A little bit of buying. Wait for it to retrace a bit more before, and then you can buy puts on it, man. I don't recommend don't chase the trade down. Wait for the corrective wave and then take it. Baba put 6.5? Absolutely not. I do not agree with this play. Snap August 21st, $22 calls. That one seems a bit nicer. I like Snap as a company right now. Yeah, this one seems good. However, I wouldn't add them here. I would wait a little bit for Snap. Wait for a retracement back down, right? Let it come back to earth here on 1850-ish or 19, right? Accumulate some calls here for August. That's a nice play. I like that. Nice volume coming in as well the past few days. I might put that on the watch list too. Hedging against market downside. Learn from the best. Thank you, Shantia. I appreciate that. Very, very kind compliment. Thank you for reviewing portfolio insight strategies. Appreciate you teaching. No problem at all, David. Appreciate you taking your time to be here. CLDR 612, $11 call. CLDR, what is the stock? Cloudera. Interesting. Never seen this one before. And you said $11 call, 612. Seems like you're in the money, so you have it till next week. I mean, I would take any profits that I have on this right now. There was some selling that happened, and that may be someone who dumped the stock. So be careful there. Crowd has potential to go back to all-time high around 105. Yep, absolutely. Agreed. At Tyron, checkout pre-market. Agreed, Greg. At Tyron, checkout pre-market for CRWD. Oh, yeah. I can definitely do that. CRWD. Let's have a look at it. Trying to go through these. Oh, it's up. Oh, wow. Great. Amazing. It's already up there. It already hit $100. You sneaky. You're making me check the stock and it's already up there. You're just testing me, aren't you? Just kidding. Zoom 150 puts for 612. I don't know about betting against this company right now, man. It's been on a crazy tear. Absolutely not. 150 puts for 612? No, absolutely not. Jason, are you planning on selling at the open? Let's see. That's a question for him. Hi, new member here. Welcome in, Valerie. Nice to have you here. Are you playing ESDC earnings? Yes, I am. I'm going to play a small position, maybe 1 or 2 contracts. Should I do any VTIQ call now? Well, I personally don't like to cover this stock because it's really at this point like very, how do you say, uncertain in terms of fundamental valuation. So therefore, I can't really advise you on VTIQ. I personally don't know enough about the company. Based on technicals though, it looks like the stock is like primed for a pump and dump. That's all I'm going to say. So I would be really careful. Good morning. How do you select time frame on the chart? I see they use 1 day time period for square and 4 hour time frame. I always start with a bigger time frame, for example, daily. But if I have very little information to work with here, then I start to scale down to 4 hour. Okay, I see more information. Then I scale down to 1 hour and I see more information for me to work with. I like to see a nice number of candlesticks so that I can make a good informed decision based on the price action and also see a clear shift in trend, swing high and low. Those are the things that I look for when I'm charting. You're welcome. If you don't like oil, what are you buying in energy? I like ExxonMobil as a company. I am looking at getting some ExxonMobil calls. XOM is a ticker symbol. I don't like oil as a commodity right now, but I do like ExxonMobil. It's been having some bullish reversal the past few days. So I'm looking to get some call, but I'm waiting for a break above 46 or 47, 47.80 with some good volume, and then I will be a buyer for ExxonMobil calls. My brother works at a sulfur plant in Los Angeles, 7 cut production half from 28 trailers a day to 14 now. They're going down trailer. So yeah, I don't know if that says anything about production cut, but it certainly means deliveries are slowing down, right? Production happens at many different outlets, so I don't think that's a good indication. Snap, I just went through Snap. CR, yeah, there you go. It's already up there. AMD 53, Facebook. Are Apple puts better? Apple puts are better, but they're more expensive. That's the question, right? You gotta make sure that it's a balance, man. It's really a balance, bro. AMD 53 call 612. Okay. AMD 53 calls. Let's have a look at this for 612. Haha. I like this one. It could make a comeback, especially since all semiconductors have been rallying, right? However, my only qualm with this is that it's sitting firmly in between. Can you see? This is a resistance. This is a support for the swing, right? It's sitting right in the middle. And so if you take any position here and it goes down, you're screwed. If it goes up, you're screwed. I don't like playing positions that are sitting in the middle. I like to wait for them to either go to the top or the bottom, make a decision then. So that's my only problem with AMD here. Facebook 235 calls for 619. Yeah, looking okay. Should be fine. 235. 619 too. You have a pretty decent expiry. Yeah, I think you're fine with that contract. You should be okay with it. Personally, I would start taking profits if you can. Remember, we're in a overheated phase right now, so just keep that in mind. I'm not going to go through VTIC, unfortunately. I'm sorry about that. If I insure my 10K account with SPY, what strike and expiry would you buy? Well, you got to look at it from the perspective of your risk tolerance as well, right? So you should take a contract that's about $500, right? 5%. And then insure SPY by buying puts far out, like a month out, right? And you can buy out the money put, like maybe a 200 like maybe even a 300 put. I don't know. Would that cost too much? Maybe try and if the time frame is too much, then try scaling down the time frame. Try to meet it so that you have the maximum amount of time and the closer to the money. And then also look for the contract to be not overbought. So IV should be a little less than 50% IV, right? And then also make sure that there's adequate open interest and volume on the contract. So the conditions that you're looking for are $500 contract, good volume, good open interest, IV less than 50%, and a relatively far strike. If you can't find a month out, choose 2 weeks out. Right? That's how you narrow it down, in my opinion. Baba puts 265. Absolutely don't think that's a good play. Your expiry is just too near, man. Too near, way too near. And it's the stock's at 214. You're expecting it to drop $14 by Friday. I don't know about that. I honestly don't think that's a good play. You're much more responsive and flexible than Jim Cramer. Thank you very much for saying that. I hope so. I try to make these streams as lively and as interesting as possible. By the way, if you are here for the first time, welcome into the live stream. Make sure you smash the like button. Leave a subscribe so that you get notified the next time we're live. Thank you for leaving 57 likes on my stream. I appreciate you guys so much. Love all of you guys so much. All right, let's continue this. We have about a couple minutes more. Adobe seems to have been doing well both before and after COVID earnings next week. Is it too late to enter, or is it better if there's a red day this week? Absolutely do not enter right now. You would be chasing a stock that's moving upward, right? And the reason why Adobe has been performing well is because it's an anti-coronavirus stock, right? People are still going to use Adobe regardless of whether the coronavirus goes on, right? So absolutely don't chase it. A day like this could happen, and that would be your entry, right? something like this. It has happened before, you can see, multiple times. So should you buy it up here? You can, if you want to buy it and then it falls, and then you ask yourself, why does God hate me? This is the question you'll be asking yourself if you buy it there. Thanks for smashing the like button. Thank you very much. Yes, absolutely. ZS call 115.65, sell a whole. ZS, Zscaler, this stock has been on a rip. I think that you should sell that one. Doesn't look very good right now, but it can run. You never know. I just don't recommend it. For my risk tolerance, nah. How would you feel about starting your broadcast 30 minutes early and finishing by 8 a.m. so we can catch the CNBC pre-market news? Unfortunately, not. This timing actually works the perfect best for me and a lot of other people. And quite personally, I'm not interested in the CNBC pre-market news, but maybe you can, for you, maybe you could watch this replay, right? If you want it. The stream will be up live. The replay will be up live for you maybe at 10 o'clock, and then you can watch it then. It just depends on where the importance is. Our Twitter puts 717.25. 717.25 puts. Wow, that's really out the money, bro. What's up, Byron? How you doing, man? That's a bit far out for me, man. I mean, I do like it, but because there's been a huge drop in the volume, and I think the stock is gonna follow, but 25 seems a bit low. I mean, if you were trying to go for a low cost and high return, then yeah, sure. But you see what I mean, man? It's pretty low, man. That's a big drop to project. I would sell James. Yeah, okay. So he did say that already. Am I too late to the DocuSign ER? Yes, you are too late. If you have to ask if you're too late, more than likely you're too late. Okay, Gush call. Let's see. Any other questions? What are the blue, green, orange lines? Those are moving averages. The blue, these are exponential moving averages. I use 3 of them. The 50, which is the blue, the green, which is a 150, and the red, which is a 200 moving average. And these track the movement of the candlestick. So let's say I'm on a 1 hour time frame, right? Then the blue tracks the past 50 1 hour candles. And then the green tracks the past 150 1 hour candles, and the red tracks the past 200 1 hour candles. Hopefully that clears that up for you. Okay, there's a lot of these here. Let's see. Okay. Gush $50 calls. All right, I'm gonna do Gush, and then I'm gonna do a couple more, and then we're gonna call. Oh, what, dude? All right, I'm not even gonna go through this. This looks like an inverse ETF. Is it an inverse ETF? It is an inverse ETF. Honestly, man, I don't recommend you trading inverse ETFs. They're a little difficult to predict, and their general movement is down. Did you say $50 calls? I don't think. No, I absolutely don't think that's a good idea. You need to wait for this break, man. You need to wait for a break above $43 here, with good volume, and then yeah, sure, but not right now. Amazon call 626. Absolutely, if you want to. Amazon will move with the entire market, so that's gonna be something that you have to take into account. Work 612 38 calls. Hold. I would sell work and take the profits off the table. You are in profit. Why would you risk letting your profits slip? I wouldn't. I would definitely take the profits off, wait for the retracement, and then get it in if you're so confident on the stock going up. ANET 256 call 626. ANET. Let's have a look. Arista Networks. 256. That's really far, man. Jeez. 256 is up here. I don't know. I think your strike might be a bit too far, man. I would have gone for something like 245. That would have been still okay. I think your strike's a bit too far. But other than that, stock looks like it's on an uptrend. So it's like your expiry might be too near for that one. All right, I'm gonna do a couple more, and then we're gonna end the day here. Haha, always keeping turning the toes. I know you. I know you. Thank you. All right, let's see. Refresh the stream real quick. By the way, thank you guys for stopping through to the live stream. I appreciate you guys being here. I do trade on Robinhood. Yes, I do. From time to time. Uber 36 calls. I do like Uber. I've been wanting to buy that for a while. Let's see. Baba. I wouldn't buy Baba puts, man. I already said that. SJM 120 calls. SJM Smuckers. A lot of people would be eating this stuff at home, right? They make the jellies and stuff, right? They're like a consumer discretionary stock, I think. 717, 120 call. Yeah, seems okay. I think that should be okay. 717, that should be fine. You're basically betting on the fact that it's going to go back up here, and you have a month to do that. That seems about okay. Microsoft wants 90 calls for 717. Seems about right. You can hold that one. Okay, Uber. When is Jason coming on? Have we locked on a day? Just here to smash the like button. Thank you for coming by to smash the like button. I'm in talks with Jason. He is a little busy now, but I'm pretty sure that as soon as he is free, he is going to be on the stream. So just stay tuned. We will have him as a guest on. He's a very, very nice guy to talk to, so it'll be worth the wait, I promise. Also, we have some great announcements coming up. I can't wait to share them with you. Keep yourself on your toes and stay tuned for some big things that are coming your way on this channel on Option Swing. We have a lot of stuff coming up, so I'm gonna end the stream right here because I want to be in time to close out my positions for the market open, which comes through in 4 minutes. Thank you for everyone for being here. Appreciate you guys as always. Smash the like button if you haven't. Subscribe. Check out our Instagrams in the description. And feel free to follow us on Instagram. We post some infographics sometimes. And if you were wondering who the music from the start of the stream comes from, it's from Type 9. His Instagram's in the description as well. So have a happy trading day. Thank you guys for being here, and I will see you guys on Friday. Bye-bye.